Aquaman Annual Number 1, written by John Ostrander, art by Geraldo Borges and Netho Diaz. So this is yet another lead-in to the Aquaman and the Others series that we will eventually get at some point in the future. And this one picks up on the East China Sea, where Aquaman is giving chase to some weird fish mutant creature things that he has no idea what's going on with them. And when he tries to telepathically control them, all he's getting out of them is like feelings of rage and anger. So he follows them to a small island, and before they arrive, we see on this island is, oh, I always forget his name, the operative, that's it, the old guy in the suit with the airplane, and his grandson are on this island. It's like a base of operations, but they much prefer to be up in the air, or at least the old man does. But the grandson is talking to Sky, who is the Native American woman who joined the others on their last adventure in, what the hell was that? Aquaman like 20, I think? I don't know. Regardless, Operative sees this and be like, what the heck? How'd she even get here? We're on the middle of an island in the middle of the East China Sea. What's going on? And she's just like, oh, I can travel through the ghost lands. That's my ability. So, yeah, I can just show up here. I wanted to see Aaron. And he's just like, yeah, behind my back. I don't trust you, lady. And Aaron's like, you don't trust anybody. That's kind of your whole thing. And he's like, yeah, and it served me well so far. Get on the plane. We need to go. And he's like, oh, your secrets. I trust her. Doesn't my opinion matter? And at that point, the mutants pop out of the ocean and start attacking, as does Aquaman. And he's like, hey, Operative, you're under attack. And he's like, yeah, thanks, Aquaman. Doing great there. So they continue fighting, trying to figure out what's going on, who's the person that's coming to attack them. And then Operative sees that there are actually some flying creatures attacking the island as well. And he's just like, ah, crap, the sea one's just a trickery. It's a fake attack. I got to go back to my airplane, see what's going on. So everyone continues fighting on the beach. Aaron ends up getting electrocuted by an electric eel, and it knocks him out unconscious, much to Sky's dismay. Meanwhile, inside the airplane, the operative has found literal flying monkeys have stolen the helmet of Volstagg, the guy who died during the Aquaman and the Others like storyline, and they managed to fly away with it. And as soon as they get away, all of the oceanic mutants just disappear. They turn into dust and no problem anymore. So Sky's trying to care for Aaron. She has minor healing abilities, but nothing too big, and he is bad. He is not doing okay. So she's like, okay, I can bring you all into the ghost lands, and there's a spirit there, a healing spirit that will save you. Let's go. So they all go into these ghost lands, and Operative's like, I don't believe in miracles or God. And Aquaman's like, you didn't believe in me either when we met, so whatever. So they make their way in, they find this healing spirit, and he's just like, he's not Native American, why should I help him? And she's like, because he means a lot to me, please, just heal him. He's like, fine, whatever. By the way, you see that shadowy figure over in the distance? It's a sorceress. She's evil. Don't trust her. And then all of a sudden the sorceress like sees them and starts like chasing after them. They manage to get out of the ghost lands, leaving Aaron behind in the hands of the healing spirit. And they're like, okay, that was weird, but what's going on now? So they get back onto the plane, and Operative explains, yeah, it was a fake attack. They stole the helmet from Volstagg, and we need to get together the others. It's clearly a thing for the others. So Aquaman sends out a telepathic message to get Yawara. We see that she's in the Amazon fighting off like lumberjacks, deforesters. She straight up slits their throats and lets some of them run away. And she's just like, yeah, that's right. This is your only warning. It's not much of a warning. You kind of slit their throat. And then she talks to the spirit of the Amazon. That's basically saying, like, don't give them warnings. Kill them all. They're just going to keep coming back. And she's like, well, I will be there for when they come back. But I can sense Aquaman is calling me, so I'm not going to be there, like, right now. And the Forest Spirit is like, we gave you your powers. We can take them away. And she's like, I got to do the thing. And she's like, fine, whatever, go. But you can't take your cats with you. So the lepers are left behind. Meanwhile, Yawara and Aquaman teleport to where prisoner of war is, and he's at a graveyard, like laying to rest some fellow military men. And he's just like, oh, yeah, whatever you guys are up for, I'm in. So they all teleport out and they start talking, saying, yeah, no, it's someone stole it because it's got intense magic power, just like all the other artifacts from the Atlanteans. Like, it's clearly that's the whole reason why. And Operative manages to find somehow on his computer a woman named Madame Zan, who she stole it somehow because they tracked the energy signature. And Aquaman's like, that kind of sounds like Madame Xanadu, but I don't think this is her. She doesn't sound like ever going to star in my book. So at that point, Yawara teleports the whole group over to where Madame Zan is. And we see Madame Zan gets her helmet from the flying monkeys. She's like, ah, perfect. This planet is doomed, but if I put on this helmet, I won't need to eat or breathe or drink or anything. I will keep me alive forever, and therefore I can leave this planet, no problem. She tries putting it on, but the helmet rejects her, and she throws it away. And she's like, well, that was a lot for nothing. Guess I'm going to have to go through my original plan of just killing everyone that makes this planet uninhabitable. So on to that, I guess. And then the flying monkeys look at her and it's like trying to speak to her, but they're just basic animals. And she's like, right, you guys are in intense pain because of the way I mutated you to exist. Be gone with you. And she just vaporizes them out of existence. So the group teleports in. They realize that there's nothing around where they teleport and just like, crap, this is a trap. And then immediately they're all teleported out separately. We see Prisoner of War is met by what appears to be a witch queen of New Orleans, where he just came from. And he's like, you're not the witch queen. She's buried in a different cemetery. And she's like, fine, fair enough. It's me, Madame Zan. Do you want to help me? Because I can free you of your ghosts. And he's like, Then we cut to Yawara, who's teleported back to the Amazon. And everything's cut down. And the Forest Spirit comes up being like, you left and everything's gone now. And she's like, you're not the Forest Spirit. That's not what the Forest Spirit looks like at all. And she's like, fine, it's me, Madame Zan. But I can help you save your forest because I'm kind of looking to save the planet as a whole. You in? And she's like, And we go to the Operative, who, Madame Zan's just standing there. She's not even trying to be anything. And she's like, hey, I read your mind and I can go ahead and take your soul and put it into your grandson's body. And so you'll be young again. Isn't that what you want? To be young and free of that suit? And he goes, And then we go to Sky, who sees the ghost of her mom. And the ghost of her mom's like, hey, it's me. I'm your mom. And she's like, no, you're not. And she's like, fine, it's me, Madame Zan. I can bring back your mom, though. That's totally a thing I could do. And Sky goes, And then we go to Aquaman, and he's teleported back to Atlantis, and Mara's sitting on the throne like, hey, Arthur, let's talk. And she's like, you're not Mara. And she's like, yes, fine, whatever. Why is nobody following for my trick here? I'm Madame Zan. But then Aquaman's like, okay, well, you're not Madame Xanadu either, so what's with the name? She's like, oh, okay, so you saw that one too. Fine, I'm Morgan Le Fay, the sister of Madame Xanadu, and I hate what's going on with this planet. I know you feel the same. I'm gonna save it by killing people who are problems. You in? And Aquaman's like, no. And he's like, all right, whatever. Nobody else was falling for my stuff anyway. It was just teleport you all back. So they all get stuck back to a harbor in Hong Kong. And Aquaman's like, oh yeah, hey, did anybody else get the full info? She's Morgan Le Fay, and she's going to like purge the planet of people. So this must be where she's doing it. And all of a sudden, Morgan causes this giant tsunami to start going after Hong Kong. Aquaman launches in a plan saying, okay, prisoner of war, use your manacles to make an unbreakable shield. Sky, give him a power up from the Ghostlands. Yawara and Operative just try to get to her. She's the one causing it. We need to knock her out. So everyone launches in the plan, but turns out Yawara actually gave in. She opened up her mind. She didn't want the forest to be destroyed, so she decided to go with Le Fay's plan, and she puts Sky in a headlock so that she's unable to give Prisoner the power up. The tsunami starts breaking through. Operative then starts attacking Yawara, and they get a whole fight scene to themselves. And Morgan Le Fay is just like, haha, none of you separately have the ability to beat me. And then Aquaman just comes up out of the water, punches her in the face. He gets blasted back by some magic, and she's like, you know, I had a problem with a King Arthur before, and I killed him. So what makes you any different? And he's like, I'm not dead. So she blasts him with magic. He uses his trident to redirect it or something, and then Morgan Le Fay just disappears into the water. At that point, Yawara comes to her senses, and she's like, oh my god, I opened my mind up to her and she took control. And Sky's like, hey, it's no big deal, it's mind control. Everyone gets that every once in a while. It's comic books, seriously. And she's like, no, none of you can ever trust me again. I hereby quit. And she teleports out. And before she leaves, she tells Sky to tell Arthur that she's sorry. So Arthur comes in just being like, hey, what happened to your Aura? She's like, she quit. She said she's sorry. And Arthur's like, oh, but she took her, like, magic things with her? Nah, she'll be back. I mean, probably. I don't know. I'm barely a part of this book. So at that point, Sky's like, oh, right. We totally left Aaron in the Ghostlands. We should go deal with that. So they go into the Ghostlands. Aaron's like, hey, I'm cool. I'm good. Thanks for the healing spirit. And then the healing spirit talks to Sky privately and is just like, hey, I did this as a courtesy, but just to let you know, do you have feelings for this boy? And she's like, maybe. He's like, right. Well, if you end up doing anything with that, you are going to have to renounce your claim to being like the spirit protector thing. Yeah, you're not going to have any of that left. So I'm not saying whether that's the right or wrong choice, just letting you know that's going to happen. And that's the book. I mean, I know eventually we're getting an Aquaman in the Others book because I'm literally holding the trade of it right now because that's the only place where this was published. But I don't know how this leads into the book as a whole. This kind of just feels like a, hey, everyone, the Aquaman and the Others book is taking a little bit longer than we expected. So here's just a thing to remind you that these characters exist and we will eventually get to them down the road. In terms of the rest of it, I mean, it's a fine enough issue. It does just feel like a reminder as to who the characters are. And then if Morgan Le Fay may be the main threat, okay, fair enough. Set it up here, good enough. But I don't know. It just kind of feels like a stopgap rather than a annual that actually means anything. So I'm going to give this one a... I'll give it a 6.5. It's not a bad issue. It does feel like Aquaman, strangely enough, is the one who doesn't want to be there the most. He was just kind of like accidentally pulled into it. Because every time he's talking to any of the other characters, he's just like, I mean, I guess, sure, whatever. You guys do your thing. But beyond that, all the other characters are fine. But it's still not getting up to a 7.